Welcome to Hidden Squidz Gaming. Not a tip, but a friendly reminder / words of advice. Pretty much everything in Darkest Dungeon is RNG based, so don't get set on things always going out the way you planned or the way someone else did it. You never know which crits are going to go against you or which crits are going to go for you. Enjoy. Tip 1. Do not cling to early game heroes. People are going to die. Don't cling to them if they're going to be in the early game especially. If you're aiming for an achievement to keep Reynold and Dismas alive until the final dungeon of the Darkest Dungeon, those are about the only two characters that will truly matter if they die. Other than that, expecting early games death's doors and early game deaths can sometimes be strategic. It actually may be beneficial to let people go, or let them die if they have a lot of stress on them or other quirks that you just can't get rid of in the early game. This is why the next tip is very important to do if you're going to be using people on a rapid basis in the beginning. Get more heroes early on with the Stagecoach. Stagecoach, Stagecoach, Stagecoach. The number of individuals you can get is probably one of the first things you want to upgrade, along with maximum capacity. You could upgrade to 4 people right away, but I like taking the 3-12 option for the first 2 steps. Just because once I get so many people with 4, unless I'm going to be turning the same 4 people out all the time, I like getting 3 and then only using 1 from the last squad, getting another 3 using 1 from the last squad, and eventually you can hit a cycle where you won't have anyone that goes and still have a decent variety on the team. One of the things that may get you is you want to upgrade stuff. You want to get better skills, better camping skills. You want to get better armor, you want to get people de-stress faster. You just don't have the money and resources to do it early on in the game. In the early game, it would not be uncommon to go through an individual or 2, not to have them die, but after you get out of a fight, be like, oh, they hit 100 stress that fight. I really don't want to put them in a stress facility for 1,000 gold and then have them missing for a week or 2. It's just a waste of a spot, time and gold. In the beginning, you want to turn people in and out so you can get the Stagecoach up and running to maximum efficiency, and then you can focus on and then you can get to level 3 and 4. But in the beginning, it's very crucial to make sure that you have enough people coming in so you never have a week where you're just barely getting by. Tip 3. Choosing your dungeons wisely. This is a weird one, but once you first start, you get a sense of fear and you kind of want to just do the Explorer option because you're like, oh, I don't have to take battles, I don't have to look for things, I just need to hit 7 out of 8 rooms. But once you start playing the game, you realize that those Explorer runs can take a lot longer than some of the battle rooms and the gathering or activating of other artifacts. I'm going to tell you why this is. We'll take a short example. If there's 8 rooms in a short dungeon, you have to go to 7 of them. If you're doing a battle room, you could literally do it in a room or 2. Now, you could go to all 8 for battle rooms. That is a possibility. However, the amount of times you're not going to go to all 8 rooms is heavily going to outweigh the fact that you would have to always explore 7. Because once you explore more, the more resources you use, the more chances of traps you run into you use, the more chances of running into something called the Collector you're going to happen. It's just the more and more you do, the longer you walk, the worse things are going to get, and possibly better. And even if you do the dungeon room within a 2 to 3 turns, you could still explore the other 5 if you want to. Medium dungeons also may not be that bad. If you have a good scouting party or an item that allows you to scout, and you're looking for artifacts, it could be very quick. It could be within maybe 6 to 7 rooms. You can end that if you get lucky with RNG. Long dungeons are usually hard, especially explore 90% of the rooms. I'd rather do battle rooms because if you have a good scouting party, you can just immediately head to the rooms with the parties you see. So I wouldn't recommend long parties right away, especially on the easier dungeons. They're just not worth the XP. Once you get higher up, you get a lot better trinkets for it. I would definitely do it then. In the meanwhile, between levels like 1 and 4, I would definitely do the short to medium dungeons, and especially the fighting and artifact ones. I missed 3 fights in a mystery room because I did not take an explorer room. Tip 4. What does this do? A thing I'd either ignored or didn't learn early on enough, I might have clicked through it, is learning what items do. Learning how they heal your buffs and all that, that's quickly. However, the interactable items is the one where I didn't initially get, that you could put things into items. It really hurt me for the beginning of the game because you can remove negative quirks for free, you can get more money, you can get more pieces, all for a very cheap price. Now, I won't always recommend going to a Wikipedia But if you don't have time to do things that are going to hurt you, or things that aren't going to, yield profit and you're going to waste like 500 gold on trying it, I'd recommend just going to Wikipedia. But if you have the time, just go through. The good thing is once you try it once, the game will X out things that did not work and give you a little thing on things that did work, such as coins for money. Also, pro tip, never burn books. It's an immediate 100 stress unless you're looking to do it. Tip 5. Money isn't the biggest deal early on. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking money is everything. And eventually in the end game, when you're upgrading everything, you got constant heroes hitting level 6 and buying their best items and their armor. Yeah, money is everything. However, in the early on, you need those trinkets to get to that point. So I would prioritize trinkets and the items that allow you to upgrade buildings over money in the beginning. Because as I said before, you're going to be turning through heroes a lot and you're actually never going to hit the stage of spending a lot of money on them. So it's more important to get the trinkets and items you need to upgrade buildings than it is to maybe harness a lot of money for the people that aren't ever going to level up in the beginning. Tip 6. Last fight, last light. A tip is the last fight in a dungeon, or if you know there's only going to be 1 to 2 fights left and you take them pitch dark, kill the torch right before you kill the last enemy. You can keep the light on the whole time and it doesn't matter. It's where the torch status is at the end of the fight. So right before the end of the fight, the killing blow, kill that torch, kill that enemy, get more money, more trinkets, more whatever you want. This works really well in battle rooms because you can usually guarantee at least 3 to 4 enemies and that's going to be a big reward. If it's enemy in the middle of the hallway, that's your last fight, you may get screwed with only fighting 3 maggots and they give you like 50 gold. Bonus tip, just the right amount. This tip is more touch and feel. Figure out how much of what items you need for your party in your playstyle. Because all the items are there doesn't mean you have to buy them all, doesn't mean you have to bring them all. I suffered that early on in the game and I wasted a lot of money bringing things or duplicating things people would already bring. Such as a grave robber will always bring a shovel, which saves you 250 gold. That's really nice, and so you only have to buy 1 more shovel, and that's 250 gold for that. And grave robbers are a pretty good early game character in general. Also, don't be afraid to bring fewer torches, because some of your party members may have abilities that can light up the room for you. And there's also places with unlit torches along the way. So getting all 12 torches for a short dungeon may not be needed. Thank you, click the like button and subscribe below.